Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0. And this is the first time in 12 years that Arsenal have won their first two Champions League games, which is pretty crazy to think about when being honest. But look, Arsenal were good. They were the better team. I think you would expect them to win 3-4-5-0 in this kind of game. I think Trossard missed maybe two really good chances. Odegaard nearly scored when Saka put in a good ball. Gyökeres arguably could have scored. If Arsenal were more clinical, they win this game 5-0. And I feel like every Arsenal fan is hyped, fantastic, amazing. But I feel like some Arsenal fans aren't that hyped about this win because Raya had to make a few saves. And actually, it took to the last sort of minute to make it 2-0. But it was a pretty dominant display from Arsenal. I think the first half was very good, but maybe they could have been more clinical. I think in terms of the second half, I think it was more of a situation of I think Arsenal they were almost they sort of stayed in second gear. I think Arsenal realised they're so much better than this team and they were so comfortable and they were playing so well that in the second half, I think they just weren't as switched on and maybe didn't have that chase in them. But they were pretty good. I think Ben White looked a bit rusty. But other than that, I think it was a good game. I don't think Gyökeres was as good as he was versus Newcastle, was really good versus Newcastle. But he did have some good moments. And I think he should have got an assist for Trossard.
Odegaard. What a performance that was. The scoreline might not give this game credit, but he was a quarterback tonight. Every single attacking move went through this guy. He was honestly insane. That's the best performance I've seen from Odegaard in over a year. He was honestly very, very, very good. And it's now back-to-back games he has been like that. Come on against Newcastle, played a killer ball through to Lewis Skelly, which resulted in a corner, and I believe Arsenal then nearly scored off that corner. Right now, he's playing with a football at his feet with a smile on his face, which I haven't seen for a while. Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0. The game, I'll be honest, I thought Olympiacos gave a really, really, really good account of themselves. Martin Odegaard made that a good watch. Some of the passes, man. The pass for Victor Gyökeres in the first half was absolutely ridiculous. You may not see a better pass in the Champions League for a while. That was stupidly good. Martinelli, back on the score sheet. 2 goals in 2 games in the Champions League for him and got his 3rd goal of the season. He's in really good form as well.
Arsenal's depth is absolutely ridiculous. I have to say that now. Their depth is ridiculous. 6 changes from the Newcastle team and still a massively dominant performance. Now, I'll start off the bat because I know it will trigger certain people if you don't say it. Yes, the game got nervy towards the end. The simple reason, the only element of tonight's game I'm criticising when it comes to Arsenal is the lack of clinical edge in that final third. Gyökeres, I think, should have scored a goal in the first half. Trossard, in the second half, should be scoring 2 minutes in, 3 minutes into the restart. About the 55th, 60th minute, should be making it 2-0. They just kept Olympiacos in the game. That's the only element I would criticise tonight. It's the only element that I think Mikel Arteta will be drumming into his players is kill these games off. But there is a gargantuan, a Kim Kardashian-esque peak Jennifer Lopez butt that we've got to talk about here. 6 changes. 6 changes. And still young starlets like Dalman and Waneri not getting onto the pitch. And Arsenal were able to dominate and be so superior in nearly every single portion of that game. That squad depth is ridiculous now.
Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0. A very, very good win for Arsenal in the Champions League. This Arsenal side are on a very, very good level of confidence right now. And you have to say a large part of it is down to Martinelli. Scored a beautiful goal against Athletic Bilbao a few weeks ago. Of course, a huge goal against Manchester City as well to pull the game back and give Arsenal that confidence in the Newcastle game. And against Olympiacos at home, they're expected to win this kind of game, but it is a banana skin that could have cost Arsenal in recent years. But they've got a squad to manage multiple multiple fronts and do it not only in a kind of getting over the line kind of way, but with a level of confidence. At points, they really, really battered Olympiacos, who are a pretty decent side, and their keeper was pulling off many, many saves.
Arsenal 2, I repeat, Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0. And listen, there's a few things I want to speak about this game. And personally, some of the stuff I've been hearing, I just kind of have to call it out, innit? But before we get into it, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new here and hit that thumbs up button if you like what you're hearing, or if if you're just supporting the content. It would be amazing if you guys did that. But let's just get into the game, innit? Because there's a few things that I really want to speak about. And one of them is the return of my boy O. Now, as a football fan, put the rivalries aside. I think a lot of people who watch my content know that I am someone who's been, always been a big fan of Odegaard. I think he's a top player. And I think the opinions on him, I think, have gone overboard in the sense that he's washed. He's not the same player. I did maybe agree with the taking away of the armband to maybe alleviate the pressure a little bit. But as a player, quality-wise, I think he's top. I think he's wonderful.